Welcome, everyone. I think everybody knows that we're here to celebrate the birthday of Elizabeth Auhero Small, the 100th birthday. Well known to much of this audience as Ellie Singh, Elsie, Lola E. And thank you all so much for coming. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Thomas Auhero Small, the number 2 son of Ellie Singh. And I'm here along with my brothers Peter, the number 1 son, and John. Let's make sure she can hear. That's important. So this celebration is so special to me, and I think so special to all of us, because it's more even than a celebration of a 100th birthday. It's really the celebration of this entire vast family of which only part of us are here today. And it's really a diaspora from the small town of Dueñas on the island of Panay in the province of Iloilo in the southern central part of the Philippines. And really, we have spread all over the world, and we have friends and family from all around the world. And I'm so delighted they all came from across California and across the United States, from Utah, from Idaho, from Florida, and even from Europe, even from Switzerland, and friends from France who came here today. And of course, some friends that arrived from the Philippines even today or yesterday for today's celebration. But I want to make some special dedications of today's event, particularly and more than anything else for my father, Jack Small, who was really instrumental in bringing all of us here today. He was a small town attorney here nearby, but he brought my mom over from the Philippines, and then many folks who are here, many of my aunts and uncles, actually came and stayed with us when they first came here to the States, here at our home in Woodside. And I think he was certainly one of the most generous and considerate and kindest men that many of us ever met in our lives. Certainly for me, that's true. And I think he was much beloved, known as Uncle Jack to lots of folks here. And I want to, of course, acknowledge and recognize our grandparents, my mom's parents, Francisca Lagdaman Auhero and Pedro Auhero. And they had 12 children, my mom and her siblings. And I remember when I was a kid always hearing how proud my mom was that all of them had survived the war. All of them were together, and unfortunately there's many of them that aren't here with us tonight, but I wanted to recognize and speak of them. So starting from the top, there was my wonderful aunt, the Inday Loretta Auhero Lim. There's Romeo Auhero, Jesus Auhero, my dear Uncle Bob, Robert Auhero, beloved Violing Salinas, my Auntie Violeta Salinas, Julio Auhero, the Moding Modesta Worki, whose daughters are here today, Vilma Castro Mayor, whose family is here today as well, my Uncle Frayen, who helped take care of us when we were kids, and of course my Auntie Cynthia Auhero Borra, to name them all. And I also want to give a big shout out to my other aunt who was so instrumental in this family, my Aunt Lolita Miley, whose relatives are here from Zurich representing her. A big shout out to her and to her daughters that I grew up with in the Philippines, and who we enjoy seeing when we're in Switzerland. So that's really the beginning of today's celebration. But we're going to start out with a performance, a musical performance, as is part of this family's tradition. So I'm going to introduce my daughter, Lyra Brody Small, best known as Cece. And Cece is studying music and philosophy at Oberlin College, one of the great music schools in the country. And she is a singer-songwriter. And she's going to perform two numbers for us today to start out. The first one is her own composition as a singer-songwriter called Lunar Eclipse. And then the second piece that she's going to do is a song I think you all know, that we all know, by the singer-songwriter Leonard Cohen. And I want to ask all of you to join in for the chorus on her second song. Cece, come on up.
Hello. Happy birthday, Lola. This is Lunar Eclipse. Blue skies with sunny highs, above blue seas and buzzing bees. Fields of poppies make you sleepy, grassy plains where it never rains, twilight stars that aren't too far, dewy leaves on summer trees, ripe peaches, sandy beaches, a slight breeze that puts to ease all of my doubts. Oh, you drown my tears and rob me of my fears whenever you are near. Your rosy cheeks make me weak. I can't stand, I can't speak. I'm losing time, picking at your mind. I'm losing time, but I don't mind. Losing time, picking at your mind, oh why? You're my lunar eclipse, you've got me whipped, oh I'm losing my grip. Some things can't be fixed, you're my lunar eclipse, oh you've got me whipped. Some love can't be fixed. My heart is lined with gold, but you break the mold. I just hope when we get old, our story won't go untold. You're my lunar eclipse, you've got me whipped, oh I'm losing my grip. Some things can't be fixed, you're my lunar eclipse, oh you've got me whipped. Some love can't be fixed. Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed that. Now I'm sure you all know Hallelujah. Feel free to join in. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew her. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throat and cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool ya. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. 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 Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Cece. We've asked a few individuals to come and talk about Lola E today, and I want to start with Dr. Renee Lim. When we were in the Philippines, when we were kids, I started to look up to him even back then, and we had a wonderful time there in Iloilo at his dad's hardware store, and he's had a fantastic life and a fantastic career and has a wonderful family. Renee, please come up.
Thank you, Tom. Actually, I'm very surprised when Tom asked me to talk about Auntie Elsie today, and I'm honored. Even though I'm a little bit nervous in front of everybody. Now I can see a lot of familiar and not so familiar faces, relatives, friends, and new form of friends who are wonderful people. Well, let me introduce myself. By the way, good afternoon. My name is Renee. They call me Nonoy in the Philippines. And I'm the third child of the eldest among the 12 siblings of Pedro and Francisca Ojero. And I grew up in the Philippines until we moved here in the early 80s after finishing med school. And there's all the things that I can remember is the things that my mother always relayed to me about my aunts and uncles here in the States. About Uncle Bob, Auntie Elsie, Auntie Modeng. And so we grew up excited to meet everybody when they come to the Philippines for a visit. And I remember the exposure that I had, the idea about our relatives here in America is how wonderful this place is. So as a child, you always wish and your mission to come to the land of opportunity. And if you work hard, play hard, you'll reach your goal and be successful. And not be imprisoned to the politics and the corruption back there. There's 12 of them, and my mother is the eldest. And you know what it is, they were joking. When they were talking about 12 kids, there was no television or entertainment then, so there's 12 of them. And it's amazing that there's 6 of boys, 6 of girls. And I remember she's telling me about how hardworking and a fighter Auntie Elsie was, and how she survived coming to America, supported herself in school until she finished her nursing school. And that actually encouraged me, that opened my eyes, that, to follow that kind of footsteps. And to be proud that, our family, a lot of our family came over without relying on government subsidies. And we work so hard to have ourselves work so hard on to be successful. And so one thing that also come across my mind is the question about if we're cousins, in the Philippines we call it pakaisa, one, as one. And how come if your brothers and sisters, you call them mag-utod? Mag-utod means there's a cut. It's amazing, isn't it? That brothers and sisters, now they're cut. How come we're cousins, now we're one? I don't know the answer, but the only, most probably the explanation that I can think of is probably those who were cut before, now we're one. It's because we're united, and half of our genes, half and half, we're in the same template that we were before. So whatever runs in your blood, half of them runs in my blood. And so it's an honor to be here speaking about Auntie Elsie and how she coming into the century mark. Still strong, physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's a remarkable achievement. And so I'm proud today to be sharing with you this special time in your life. And it's something to remember. And this is the only, this is the only time that we get together, in sad times and in happy times. Last month, the passing of Auntie Violet was a sad time. It's down. Now it's a happy time, celebrating your birthday. Cheers! Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Renee. We're having a few folks talking, and there will also be the opportunity for everyone to pitch in and give a toast when we start our feast outside after the program here in the sanctuary. Next, I'd like to invite up one of the sons of my wonderful Uncle Bob, the Brigadier General, retired, Taft O'Hara. Taft, please come up.
So I would be remiss to say that thanks for the great introduction. As with any event that I've been part of in my long 35-year military career, you have to say thank you and appreciate the efforts of Tom Small, Tom, and my cousin here for doing this work, because wonderful things like this require work and sacrifice, right? And so it was a little intimidating when my senior cousin Tom said, hey, would you like to spend 3 minutes relating to what, something about my Auntie Elsie, her mom? And I was like, oh, okay. So what do I say? So for everyone, yes, I did retire at that rank. However, there's two people that outranked me in this family. First was my dad, because when I was a young, vibrant little second lieutenant, I walked up to my dad and said, you gotta salute me now. I'm a second lieutenant in the Air Force, which means I really knew nothing. And he's like, son, I will always outrank you. Got it. Then, I call her Auntie Elsie, but I also call her the commander. So come find me afterwards over an icy cold beverage, I'll tell you why she's the commander. So for everyone here, what do you talk about with someone that's been on this planet for 10 decades that matters to us as a family? So welcome to family, soon to be family, and friends. I look forward to meeting you and talking to you for the rest of the afternoon. So what came to me was the American dream, right? And what is that? It comes from the Declaration of Independence from one of our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. The pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And what's amazing about America, you get to choose that. And how did I get that choice? Right? So the present is, we're celebrating you, right? But how did we get here? We got here from, I'm a military guy. We've been celebrating for the last 5-10 years the greatest generation of Americans. World War I veterans. They gave it all. Well, I look at those 12 siblings that came from a small town in the Philippines as the Aljero's greatest generation.
Absolutely.
Right? Because think about the initiative, the strength, the courage to dream, that American dream in the Philippines of all places, as my cousin Renee expounded upon. So how did she get there, right? I'm thinking. There's an author in 2016, Michael Kampf. I'm sure for the Gen Z folks on your scrolling, you know, if there's that, I'll focus on the two frames of strong men create good times, right? And when I say men, I mean men and women. And that's what I look at my dad, your aunties, your uncles, your Lolas. We come from good stock, right? I look at it. There's public servants here. We have mayors. We have lawyers. We have doctors. We have pilots. We have principals. We have future lawyers. We have teachers. We have amazing singers and talents in our family. What I would offer up is you look around this room, you look to your left, you look to your right. We are the American dream. My God. It's amazing to be here, right? So I address that to you, because those hard times that you found in the Philippines, right? Like there's a story my dad taught me. The reason why he jumped off a container ship in Guam and joined the U.S. Army is because of America. He related, because of 12 brothers and sisters, I don't think Filipino chickens were big as American chickens, right? My dad told me, hey, my piece of the chicken was the neck. And I'm like, grew up in America. You actually eat those things? Right? So those were what I would call those demanding times that make strong men and women like my aunties and uncles. So I thank you for that. So looking to the future, and I'm the present, I'm talking to the young kids around here, you know, my nieces, my nephews, who are having kids now, is that you have this awesome example, this burning legacy on the hill, right? Your Auntie Elsie. So when the struggle is real and you think you can't do it, just think of your Auntie Elsie. Think of every aunt and uncle that is sitting in this room still, that have gone before you. It's not that really hard. So, Auntie Elsie, Commander, I salute you. And happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Taft. That's a hard act to follow, but I'm prepared because I have Bonnie Small who's going to come speak next, representing the grandchildren.
Hi. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Bonnie. I'm Peter's daughter. And happy birthday, Lola. I mean, I think, you know, a lot of the times when we speak about Lola, it's a lot of the strength and the power that went behind creating everything she did, creating all of us. And the thing that I guess stands out the most for me, you know, having lived with you my whole life, is really the love that you put into all of us. I think 100 years of love is truly the best way to describe it. I remember every morning, ever since I was a little girl, my Lola would wake me and my brother up, and she would take us out to her garden, and she would have us say, "Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, flowers. Good morning, birds." And she would show us everything she had made, whether it was flowers and lilacs that she had taken cuttings from Yale or someplace far away, or the orchids that my grandfather gave you that you still kept alive through generations, through decades, that have outlived so many things. And that's really been
the biggest legacy was your love, because it made everything worth it. You taught us how to love family. People often say you're a mother to us all, and that you've taken care of us all. You've taught us how to love life, even when life can be hard. And of course, you have done more for us than we could ever say. And we love you more than you will ever know. So yes, thank you so much, Lola. We really do love you. I wish I could put it into words, but yeah, happy birthday.
Bonnie, thank you so much. Next, I'd like to call the other son of my wonderful uncle Bob that I grew up that we all grew up together here in Merced. I remember them when they were tiny little kids when we first started it, and then we've been parallel our whole lives. Jerry Alhero, please come up.
I had to write this out because I can't wing it, because then my wife and my daughter would say, you know what, you're not in front of your math class. So, Auntie, as I was driving up here, getting off the 280, getting on Sand Hill, it brought a tear to my eye, to be honest with you, because it's been so long. And I apologize for not coming up to see you more than I should have. I'm so happy to be here today and be honored to speak about you and honoring you today on this special day. Gosh, before I start, this family is so special. Woodside was always kind of like our jumping point. This is where we started. Every single one of us made our way up that hill, up Old Honda, trying not to get into a car wreck, up or down. But gosh, that place holds so many special memories. Jingo, Tiger, Jingo pulling Taft out of the pool when he fell in. Gosh, it's just an amazing place. I thank you for all the hard work, your brothers and sisters, Grandma, Grandpa, all the family. Like my brother said, you are A1, special, and you made it all happen for us to be where we're at right now. I'm not sure about how many of you know about the moniker. The Atwater Merced Alhero is new, fondly associated with our Auntie Elsie. It was a quiet evening, if I were to remind, just tell the story. This is how this all came about. It was a quiet evening on the ranch in Merced that my aunt and Uncle Jack helped us find when we moved here to the United States. And it was a late night phone call, and my little brother answered the phone. And my dad asked who it was. And in complete seriousness, my little brother said, "Dad, it's the commander. She's on the phone." Loud enough for my Auntie Elsie to hear it on the phone. And she goes, what did he say? And at the time, I'm sure my auntie was not too thrilled about that nickname, the commander. But as I reflect back on this moment back then, as we were little, I kind of realized it was actually a really a title of respect, deep respect and admiration for you and the love that you showed us. Because you're the first one to make the trip. You are truly our commander, okay? Not in a strict or distant sense, but in the way you live with strength, care, and conviction. Every time we showed up, got the pinch on the cheeks. If I didn't get the pinch on the cheeks, I knew I was in trouble. You were someone we could rely on, someone who guided us, protected us, and you kept this family moving forward. You showed that love so clearly when your brother entrusted you with his two young sons. I think we were just 3 or 2 years old. And I think we had to drop my dad off at the airport because he was leaving for something. I can't remember what it was. I was too little to remember. But my brother and I cried our hearts out all the way from SFO to Woodside, yelling, "Daddy, come, Daddy, come." And Auntie would always remind us of that. And in that trip back, I think you showed extraordinary patience. You comforted us, empathy, and grace. You endured us, and most importantly, you loved us. And somehow you didn't kick us out of the car. You just didn't lead in moments like that. You led an entire family forward. From humble beginnings in the Philippines, you helped pave the way for the Alhero family's journey to the United States. You carried with you hope, courage, and determination for a better life, not just for yourself, but for all of us. And just look around today. Family members gather here, part of your legacy. We are all in some way a product of your strength, your sacrifice, and your vision. You didn't just build a life, you built an entire future for generations. Auntie Elsie, your life is a testament to what it means to lead with love, to persevere with purpose, and to give selflessly. So today, we don't celebrate just your journey, we celebrate you. Here's to you, to your incredible legacy, and to your 100 trips around the sun. We love you, Auntie, AKA, lovingly, the Commander.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Our family and my mom have had many gifts throughout our lives, including the newest one that sounds like it's in the back there. But I have to say, one of the greatest gifts that has came to us in the last 2-3 decades is her name is Dr. Sarah Gandy, and she is the mom of Bonnie, and I'm so thrilled to ask her to come up and speak about Mom.
I think it's really interesting that she had the nickname of Commander. How I met Nana, I call her Nana, is I had rented an apartment from her.
Sarah, let me fix this microphone for you.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Okay. And it turns out that she had rented to many generations of doctors in the past. And one of them was Michael Jacobs, who is the lead at Stanford Medical Group. And he remembered her very fondly, and we were talking about her and her personality, and I had to acknowledge that the only time I've ever bowed in life has been to God and to Elsie Small. But I wrote this out just because I'm a little shy with public speaking, just by all the years of being in medicine. And what I wrote out is that today we celebrate an extraordinary woman, a mother, a grandmother, a mother-in-law, and most of all, a true friend. It's a wonderful gift for us to be able to share this day with her. I think about the fact that she has lived through 10 generations of change, challenges, triumphs, and history. But more important than the years themselves is the life she built within them, the family she nurtured, the love she gave, and sometimes we weren't always easy to love, but she did it anyway, the wisdom she shared, and the example she set. As a mother-in-law, she welcomed others into her family with strength, grace, and heart. She's been a part of the foundation of this family for decades, and her influence lives on in her children, grandchildren, and all who know her. Reaching 100 is not simply about longevity, it is about resilience, character, faith, humor, and love. Our Nana has seen, yes, has seen Hunter's my son, Peter and my son, and Bonnie's brother. So reaching 100 is not simply about longevity, it's about resilience, character, faith, humor, and love. Our Nana has seen difficult times and joyful ones. Through it all, she has remained someone deeply valued and admired. We are grateful not only for her long life, but for the memories, traditions, stories, and the firm and loving kindness she has given to all of us. Today is a celebration of a century well lived. So on behalf of everyone here, thank you, Nana, for your love, your strength, and your example. We honor you, we celebrate you. We are blessed to know you. And one of my favorite memories of Nana with my children is at night we would cozy up in her cottage, and Peter and I would be in the living room on the pull-out sofa, and the kids, sometimes Bonnie was in front of the wood-burning stove, and Hunter would be in the bed next to Nana, and they would sing, "You Are My Sunshine." It's beautiful. Nana, you are our sunshine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And now my brother John.
So I'm kind of winging this, but everyone here has had an impact on our family, on the small family, and it is really fun for me to see all of you together. A couple of things that I've used on some other grandparents here. One of them is, Mom, this is all your fault. Thank you. I have a little story, a true story, that will give you a little bit of an insight to our mom. In 1981, I was just out of high school. My parents were working late. They'd get home about 1 o'clock. My dad would get up and be gone by 6 a.m. It felt like this went on for years. About 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, we get a knock on the door, and this is before cell phones, before cordless phones. And it was 3 young guys, 2 years older than me, that were looking for a neighbor. And so naturally I let them in, come on in, use the phone, no problem. And they took off, and they came back a while and said, "Oh, we can't find them. We want to use the phone again." So they come in, and one of them turns to me and says, one of the guys say, "Well, we know you have weed here, and we're going to take it." And I see one of them that takes off towards my mom's bedroom, and I just freak out. I didn't know what to do. But you see yourself like Bruce Lee. It's not that way. I grabbed the first guy, picked him up by his crotch with my knees, set him down. And the next thing I knew, we were out in the patio on the way out to the driveway. And I was screaming for my mom the whole time to call the cops. She comes out, and I have one guy under my arm, and he got away. And my mom jumped on him and bit him square right in the back. Right in the back. They had to take impressions of her teeth for evidence in court. So I just remember her in court, standing up there, behind the mic, and the judge saying, "You can sit down." And she was like, "I don't want to sit down." Anyway, that's part of the personality that brought our mom here in 1947 from the Philippines. Thank you, Mom.
So much, Josh. Okay, so thank you all so much for speaking this afternoon. This is the really fun part for me that I really think of as kind of the main event, the keynote, is that I get to have a conversation with my dearest Uncle Romulo Alhero. I think Uncle Malo, I think he's 86 now, and he helped raise us when we were kids. Both. I remember spending so much time with him when we were little in the Philippines that my mom would be off doing something else, and Uncle Malo would take care of us. And then here also here in the States. But Uncle Romulo, have a seat. Let's.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Have we got that microphone working?
I guess, yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I think I can hear golden.
Can everybody hear? Can everybody hear him?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, Uncle, let's start at the beginning. What was it like growing up in Dueñas and in Iloilo when you and Mom were children?
Well, it was really tough. I was born during the war, actually, you know. We have, every day, her and my other brother, your Uncle Bob, we have to go out, scrounge for food, you know. Yeah? And that saves us for a day, you know. Almost every day. That's why I don't see her much often in the house. She's always out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And of all your brothers and sisters, where did Mom fit in the family? What role did she play?
Oh, she fits with everything because she is a provider, actually. A provider, a survivor, you know. And during those times, you have to run because of Japanese soldiers, yeah. You know? But she has a way of evading them, gather some food, you know, gather something, anything that could help us for a day. Yeah.
Totally amazing. I remember hearing so much about that.
Stuff,
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite childhood memory of her? It was her getting the food.
Not really, because our gap is quite big.
Yeah.
I was the 10th child, she's the 4th. See, we have like six siblings between us. So that I was growing up and she was already out trying to...
Which is sort of amazing. She was already 14 when you were born. It's incredible. So at some point, your sister left Iloilo and went to Manila. And then she crossed the ocean. What do you remember of her life of your lives at that time?
That I cannot recall. I don't know what she took. She took a boat because there was no plane.
That's right.
I don't know how many days or months she was traveling, going to Manila at the time. You know.
Yeah.
It could stop. Even when she came back. She came back in 1962 or something, 63. You know.
Yeah.
I was only mature too.
Yeah.
And what she was in was a military transport ship that the U.S. Army is sending from to every cities. I don't know if they are dropping supplies or getting something out, but that's what she took. And I didn't ask her how many weeks she was or how many months she was in that ship. Yeah.
Incredible. And when you first saw her, you know, after she began to establish her life here in California, what impressed you most about the life that she and my father Jack were building together?
Oh, she's. We got help from her. Is sending some stuff to the Philippines. Maybe clothes or some, you know. And, well, I really don't know, because your Uncle Bob is the one who was with her. Because when she left in 1947, 2 years after that, your Uncle Bob went to Guam. joined the army, right? And he was sent to Korea. And after a war in Korea, she started looking for him because they were getting a chance to either go back to the Philippines and get discharged or go back to the States if you have relatives. But she went to the Red Cross so many times, to just inquire where my brother is until she located him. So took him back over here, brought him back, I should say.
And then later on, you came to California yourself, and you even lived with us for a time. What memories do you have of our families in that time?
Oh my goodness. She is a drinker too. every night, she would call your dad, bring some. I remember the brand you have, white Chablis, right? White Chablis. And me and her will try to finish that. It was fun,
And you when during that time, and also earlier when we were back in the Philippines all together, you took care. You helped take care of me and my brothers. What were we like when we were little boys?
It so happened that in the front of your Auntie Buling's house, there's a guy that cooks barbecues every afternoon. And when you have tasted the chicken, every day you want to cook. When she went home the first time, she wanted to take me back here, right? But unfortunately, I had an accident. I broke my leg. And we were about to leave that following morning, but I can't because I was in the cast. So I had to. She waited for a while and look after me because she is already a nurse at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, did you ever imagine back then that those little boys would be, and all of us would be together in a room like this, celebrating her 100th birthday?
It's amazing, Tom. That sometimes it would put tears in my eyes when I remember those times.
Absolutely. And what kind of mother was she?
You
do you
don't
think?
know them. You don't know them. You don't.
She is, we went to, I remember she was about to leave for the States. We went to Manila for a while. I went with you.
I remember.
And we stayed in that hotel.
Yeah.
And while she was doing that, she was also trying to go to some agency to fix my papers. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I think it's I'm not fortunate enough to, I could have the chance to come home over there earlier because of some circumstances,
And when you look around this room here today and you see the children, the grandchildren, the cousins and friends, what do you think would make your parents most proud?
My goodness, I don't know what they'll do, because myself, is already intense just looking at these relatives. How things have gone this way. We went to the United States, and they said that this is the land of milk and honey, it's true. But with her, I think she's still, I'm scared to ride with her in the plane. She fights with everybody.
And what do you see of?
I'm going to get you.
And what do you see of Elizabeth and her children and grandchildren here?
Oh Diba? Close,
No, no.
very close.
No more.
I remember the early part of 1980, I was already here.
No,
with you.
that's what he said.
And
Yeah.
he asked Peter to cut the limb of an old oak tree close to the pool, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I learned that sea was really tough. But when Peter got, he broke the chainsaw, but evidently he did turn it off. It was running. But he came back to the house, just walked to a few yards, and retrieved something. And she cannot wait.
See? I have
She
one-
grabbed the chainsaw
No, see,
and tried to cut the limb herself. Instead of cutting the limb, she cut her fingers.
Show your finger, Mom. That's cut off by the chainsaw.
There. Yeah. And by the time she left, I think I'm trying to embellish the fact that
enough of my story.
during those times, she's one of the few Filipino women who went out to venture out,
Yeah.
work overseas or work here. I know she worked as the first time we worked over here as a babysitter, right? You were babysitting your brother, your stepbrother. Mm. And I'm thinking about that. I would say that, in the new lingo right now, she was one of the first Filipino women who works overseas. Yeah. Yeah. The WFO.
OFW.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's one of the first.
You better sing.
Yeah.
You better sing.
Yeah.
We'll
I
get.
used to sing with her together in the house after we finished that Chablis, Yeah. And wow, when she gardens, she got all kinds of plants around the house during those times. So flowers, vegetables, yeah. And one time she, most of her plants, there's a lot of deer in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
He would ask Peter, shoot the damn deer, They ate all my plants. My goodness.
Well, Uncle, thank you so much for sharing these stories with us. It's astounding to me that, you and Mom are amongst the last witnesses that we have to a time that is really just stories for the rest of us. So
I'm happy to be with her. When I came over until now, she's here, and I don't know. Might be. I'm waiting for the time when I will be celebrating my 100th birthday too.
Me too.
absolutely.
Okay, boss.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, my goodness.
Thank you so much, Uncle.
Are you my brother?
Keep on, okay?
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think it's always it's always important to save the very best for last, and that's what we've done today. I'm just delighted to introduce someone who has done so much for all of us here today, but she's going to show you now what I mean by the best for last. Please welcome Leslie Tabebs Aujero.
Well, all I can say is I'm the lucky one. For me, American Dream, this is it for me. Thank you so much for coming here today, celebrating our mom's birthday. The song that I'm gonna sing this time is all her favorite song from the artist Nat King Cole, some medley of it. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your pain and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Just light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile. Sing it with me. Say, if you just smile. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seems to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never ever give my heart. In the moment I can feel that you feel that way too. when I fall in love with you. Unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far, like the song of love that clings to me, how the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Happy birthday, Mom.
You know, this is just a family event, but it takes a lot of work and resources to put something like this together. And I just want to thank those who made it happen. Dr. Happy birthday, Mom. I want to thank Dr. Renee and Daisy Lim, and to Bibbs, who did so much work behind the scenes, and I especially want to make a thank you to Lauren Aujero Salinas, who really put this all together. We're so grateful to you. And I'm so proud that she's known as Tom Tom, the same name as me when I was a kid. And finally, I want to thank my wife, Joanna Brody, and her mom, Dr. Sonia Brody, for being with us here today. So, folks, the next thing is we're all gonna gather outside beneath the mountain for a group photo. This is a hugely important part of this. Please follow us out to the other side of the cars to take a picture together with the mountains in the background. And then we're going to eat, drink, more toasts, and singing all afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here.